The year is 1942. The world is in the throes of the most devastating conflict it has ever seen. The world is engulfed in the flames of World War II. Cities are burning, and the sounds of explosions echo across continents. The Nazi war machine under the command of Adolf Hitler had torn through Europe. With ruthless efficiency, they had conquered vast territories, leaving destruction in their wake. Its reach extended deep into North Africa, a strategically vital region. The Axis powers, led by Germany and Italy, sought to dominate this area to secure their hold on the Mediterranean. Control of North Africa meant control of the Suez Canal, a lifeline for Allied supply routes. This narrow waterway was crucial for the movement of troops, equipment, and resources. For the Axis powers, conquering this region would be a major blow to the British Empire. It would sever the empire's connections to its colonies and weaken its global influence. It would also open up possibilities for further advances into the oil-rich Middle East. Control of these oil fields would provide the Axis with the fuel needed to sustain their war efforts. The vast, unforgiving deserts of North Africa became a battleground. Soldiers from both sides had to endure extreme heat, sandstorms, and scarce water supplies. Here, under the scorching sun, a struggle for supremacy was about to unfold. The harsh environment added another layer of difficulty to an already brutal conflict. The fate of the war hung in the balance. Military leaders on both sides knew that the outcome of this campaign could determine the future direction of the entire conflict. Both sides were aware of what was at stake. The soldiers, commanders, and nations involved understood that this was a fight for survival and dominance. They committed their best soldiers and resources to the fight. Tanks, artillery, and infantry units were mobilized, and supply lines were stretched to their limits. The stage was set for one of the most pivotal battles in human history. The Battle of El Alamein would become a turning point, shaping the course of World War II and the future of the world. Leading the Axis forces was the legendary Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox. Rommel was a brilliant tactician, known for his daring maneuvers and ability to outwit his opponents. He had earned the respect of his men and the grudging admiration of his enemies. His victories in the desert had made him a symbol of German military prowess. Facing him was General Montgomery, a meticulous planner known for his determination. Montgomery was the antithesis of Rommel in many ways. He believed in careful preparation and the application of overwhelming force. He was a strict disciplinarian, but he also understood the importance of morale. He was determined to break the back of the Axis forces in North Africa. The clash between these two iconic military minds would shape the course of the battle. In the lead-up to the battle, both sides engaged in a deadly game of cat and mouse. The vast, unforgiving desert landscape of North Africa became the stage for a high-stakes confrontation. Each side knew that control of this region was crucial for the overall war effort. Rommel, despite his supply lines being stretched thin, pushed his advantage. Known as the Desert Fox, he was a master of mobile warfare, using the desert's vastness to outmaneuver his enemies. His tactics were bold and often unpredictable, keeping the British forces constantly on their toes. He sought to keep the British off balance, launching surprise attacks and rapid advances. His forces, though often outnumbered, were highly skilled and motivated, making the most of their limited resources. Montgomery, however, was in no hurry. The British commander was methodical and patient, understanding the importance of preparation. He meticulously planned his strategies, ensuring that every detail was accounted for. He knew time was on his side. The longer he could delay a direct confrontation, the more he could build up his forces. Montgomery's approach was to wear down Rommel's troops, exploiting their stretched supply lines and limited reinforcements. The Allies used this time to amass a massive amount of men and material. They brought in fresh troops, new tanks, and vast quantities of supplies, preparing for a decisive showdown. They deployed over 200,000 men, 1,000 tanks, and countless other vehicles and equipment. The scale of the buildup was unprecedented, reflecting the importance of the upcoming battle. And 2,300 guns. Artillery pieces were positioned, ready to unleash a devastating barrage on the Axis forces. They were preparing to unleash a storm of steel upon the Axis. The meticulous planning and preparation were aimed at overwhelming Rommel's forces with sheer firepower and numbers. The Allies also had a secret weapon, Ultra. This top-secret program allowed them to intercept and decode German communications, providing invaluable intelligence. This top-secret program allowed them to intercept and decode German communications. The information gathered through Ultra gave the Allies a significant edge, enabling them to anticipate and counter Rommel's moves. This gave Montgomery a crucial advantage as he was able to anticipate Rommel's moves. With this intelligence, he could make informed decisions, positioning his forces to counter the German strategies effectively. The stage was set for a clash of titans in the desolate but strategically vital deserts of North Africa. Both sides were ready, their strategies and preparations leading to an inevitable and monumental confrontation. On the night of October 23, 1942, the silence of the desert was shattered. The Battle of El Alamein began with an earth-shuddering artillery barrage. Over 1,000 Allied guns unleashed a storm of fire upon the Axis positions. The bombardment lasted for hours, turning the night sky into a terrifying display of light and sound. It was a clear signal that Montgomery intended to smash his way through the German defenses. Following the barrage, British infantry units advanced under a moonlit sky. They moved through the dust and smoke, their objective to breach the enemy lines. The Germans, though taken aback by the ferocity of the initial assault, were far from defeated. They were determined to defend their positions with their usual tenacity. The early days of the battle were characterized by fierce fighting and heavy casualties on both sides. However, two factors began to tip the scales in favor of the Allies. The first was the aforementioned Ultra intercepts. These intercepts provided Montgomery with invaluable intelligence about German troop movements and battle plans. He was able to use this information to outmaneuver Rommel and anticipate his attacks. The second factor was the growing dominance of the Allied air forces. The Desert Air Force, under the command of Air Marshal Sir Arthur Tedder, relentlessly attacked Axis supply lines, disrupting the flow of reinforcements and supplies to Rommel's troops. The air superiority enjoyed by the Allies proved to be a decisive factor in the battle. Section 6. Operation Lightfoot, a grinding offensive. Montgomery, realizing a quick breakthrough was unlikely, launched Operation Lightfoot on October 26th. This operation aimed to create a path through the northern sector of the German defenses. It involved a methodical advance, supported by massive artillery bombardments and constant air cover. The fighting was brutal and unrelenting. Gains were measured in yards, not miles. The Germans fought with characteristic ferocity, repelling numerous attacks. However, they were slowly being ground down by the relentless pressure from the Allies. Montgomery's strategy, though costly in terms of manpower, was slowly but surely achieving its objectives. Section 7. Operation Supercharge, breaking the back of the Axis. With the German defenses weakened but not broken, Montgomery launched his final blow, Operation Supercharge. This operation, launched on November 2nd, was designed to be a decisive thrust through the remaining Axis defenses. It involved a massive armored assault, spearheaded by over 500 tanks. The attack was supported by a renewed aerial bombardment, which hammered German positions ahead of the advancing tanks. Operation Supercharge proved to be the turning point of the battle. The sheer weight of the Allied attack overwhelmed the Germans, who were now running critically low on supplies and ammunition. Rommel, realizing the battle was lost, ordered a retreat. The retreat, however, quickly turned into a rout as the Allied air forces relentlessly pursued the retreating Axis forces. Section 8. Turning of the Tide. The Aftermath and Legacy of El Alamein. The Battle of El Alamein concluded on November 4, 1942, with a decisive Allied victory. This victory was not just a military success, but a significant morale booster for the Allied forces. The soldiers, who had been fighting tirelessly in the harsh desert conditions, finally saw a glimmer of hope and a reason to celebrate. The Axis forces suffered heavy casualties and lost a significant amount of equipment. The retreat of the Axis forces marked a significant blow to their campaign in North Africa. The battlefield was littered with the remnants of their once formidable war machinery, now reduced to twisted metal and debris. The victory at El Alamein marked a turning point in the North African campaign. It was a strategic win that allowed the Allied forces to gain momentum and push forward. The maps of the campaign showed a clear shift in control, with the Allies now on the offensive. It shattered the myth of Rommel's invincibility. Known as the Desert Fox, Rommel had been a formidable opponent, but his defeat at El Alamein proved that even the most skilled commanders could be overcome. This defeat had a profound impact on the morale of the Axis troops. It also breathed new life into the Allied war effort, which had been struggling against a series of defeats. The victory provided a much-needed boost in confidence and resources. Soldiers received fresh supplies and reinforcements, preparing them for the battles that lay ahead. In the aftermath of the battle, Winston Churchill famously declared, "Now this is not the end." His words resonated deeply with the troops and the public alike, offering a sense of direction and purpose. It is not even the beginning of the end. Churchill's speeches were known for their ability to inspire and motivate, and this one was no different. It reminded everyone that the road to victory was still long, but the tide was turning. But it is perhaps the end of the beginning. His words proved prophetic. The victory at El Alamein was indeed a pivotal moment, signaling a shift in the war's dynamics. El Alamein was a major turning point in World War II, shifting the momentum decisively in favor of the Allies. The battle's legacy is remembered as a testament to the resilience and determination of the Allied forces, who overcame great odds to secure a crucial victory. Section 9. Echoes of El Alamein, a defining moment in World War II. The Battle of El Alamein was more than just a military victory. It was a symbolic victory that resonated across the globe. It showed that the Axis powers were not invincible. They could be defeated. It galvanized the Allied nations. It gave them hope in their darkest hour. The victory at El Alamein paved the way for the eventual Allied victory in North Africa. The echoes of El Alamein reverberated throughout the rest of the war. It served as a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage, determination, and strategic brilliance could prevail. The lessons learned in the sands of North Africa would shape the course of future battles. They would ultimately contribute to the defeat of the Axis powers.